Hey guys, welcome back. It's Kat here, and I figured today, since there was such a good response on my latest video, my first video, that I would follow up with a little Q&A. So I put a little post on Instagram and asked you guys to send in some Star Wars questions, fan film questions, or just whatever you wanted to ask me. And so I figured I'd sit down and answer some of your questions today. So thank you for submitting your questions, and thank you for the response to my last video. I was expecting it to get like 100 views maybe, so thank you so much for taking the time to watch it or leave a comment if you did. I appreciate it. Alright, so let's just jump right in. First question, are you in college? Yes, I go to university. I have 2 semesters left. Woo! How old are you? I am 21. Has Natalie Portman reached out to you at all? No, she hasn't. That would be cool if she did, but in all honesty, I doubt she's maybe even watched the fan film, although that would be, amazing if she had. What was your reaction seeing Star Wars Theory's face for the first time? And great job in the fan film. Thank you. To be honest, I'm part of the crew who thinks that his voice does not match his face. I don't know, maybe that's just because, you watch someone's videos for so long and you hear their voice, and I didn't really have an expectation in my mind. I know some people probably imagined just a person when they would listen to his voice, but I didn't have any face or any idea in my head, so I kind of just went into it not really having any idea. But I had asked Merrick the night before when we FaceTimed, I was like, can you just tell me what Star Wars Theory looks like so I know what I'm looking for? And they described him, and even with their description in mind, he when he introduced himself on set, I was still just that. Next question, is it easy to act? I would say it depends on how long you've been acting for and what specifically you are, what role you're trying to execute. I think it's totally different to, do comedy versus drama. I think, there's challenges to whatever role you're doing, but I think it all comes down to your experience. How do you feel about how well the fan film has done and that it is something all Star Wars fans enjoy? To be honest, I was not expecting such a, incredible reaction. The fact that we made it on the trending page, did not even cross my mind that the fan film was, that could happen, but it did, and it was so shocking but so amazing. So I'm just blown away with the reception, and sometimes I still forget that I was in the fan film because I'm just so I'm still in shock about it, and then I will watch it and be like, oh my god, I was in this, I was a part of this. I'm just so overwhelmed by the fact that we've already breached 5 million views. So thank you to those who've been watching it and sharing it and supporting it. We couldn't ask for more. What's next for you as an actress? Honestly, I have no idea. I'm going wherever the wind takes me right now. I definitely need to finish school first, so my mom and dad can be happy about that. But yeah, I don't know. I would definitely love to pursue more projects in the future. How was Star Wars Theory? He was so cool, and he was the nicest person. You would think somebody with, such a huge channel and such a huge following would maybe, be a little bit narcissistic or something, but he is not at all. He is so modest, and he is so humble about the whole experience, and he just wants to give everyone, he just wanted to give all Star Wars fans a film that they can enjoy. What was the most difficult part of the whole experience? Besides from putting in the contact lenses, if you watched my last video where I talked more about that, I would say the hardest part for me was adjusting to the difference between filming for a screen production versus filming or performing in a stage production, which I had only ever done before. My background is entirely in theater and musicals and acting on stage, where you have much more rehearsal time, much more kind of freedom with your movements, much more time to bond with your cast members and practice and, just run a scene 1,000 times if you want to, versus when you're on the set, you have a strict time limit. I had just met my cast members that day, or the day before I should say, but we were literally running the scene for the first time that day together the minute it was being filmed, and I think that was the toughest part. How did you get the role of Padme? So my boyfriend, he is the one who introduced me to Star Wars Theory's channel a few months, prior to when I actually did the fan film. We had been watching his channel for a while, and my boyfriend had mentioned he was doing a fan film, and he mentioned it was going to be an open call for auditions, and he highly encouraged me and pushed me to send in a videotape, and I did, expecting that I wasn't going to hear anything back and that my audition was just going to go off into the interwebs and I was never going to hear a response from them, but I got an email back and it worked out. I would enjoy hearing you talk about your art. Thank you, I'm glad. So for those who don't know, I am in college and I do go to school for fine arts. I study painting and drawing and I love it. It's my, other biggest passion besides performing or acting. And yeah, I will link my art website down below. I have to update it a little bit more, but there's still some stuff on there from, when I was in high school, but also more recent projects from my university studies. So yes, feel free to check it out. Do you play any instruments? I used to in high school. I used to play the piano, I used to play the violin, and I actually used to do choir in high school as well. Unfortunately, I don't play any of them anymore, but I did at one point, yes. If you could travel anywhere in the world, where would it be? Hashtag Darth Padme. I would probably go to Italy. That's just been on my bucket list forever, and I hope to go there this upcoming summer, actually, so woo! Do you see yourself doing auditions for any other type of show or movie roles? I would love to. As I mentioned, I'm pretty much just going where the wind takes me right now. I don't really have anything planned out yet for future projects, but yes, this is definitely something I would love to pursue, and I'm so grateful that Star Wars Theory gave me the opportunity to at least, get a little bit of exposure into what it's like to, do something that's meant for screen, like a film production. If you had a chance to be in major Hollywood movies but never star in a Star Wars film again, would you? That is a tough question because obviously, as I mentioned, I would love to pursue more and, develop a career in acting, possibly, hopefully, maybe. But to never be in a Star Wars film again, like, this has been my dream, and it's like a total dream. I would love to be in the Game of Thrones director's Star Wars spin-off that they are doing separately. That's like my goal. Doubt it's gonna happen, but like, I would love that. I loved being in a fan film, and I would love to, to one day maybe be in like a Lucasfilm production. That would be insane. So, I don't know. That is a tough question. Have you acted for a long time? I was super impressed in the Vader fan film. Thank you. I have been acting for a while. This was my first like screen production I've ever done. But I've been doing stage performance since I was 8 years old. How did you feel when you found out you got the part as Padme? Were you nervous, excited, etc.? I was so excited. I had been waiting for the phone call from Danny for like forever, and literally every day, like I could not focus on anything other than I was checking my emails constantly, like checking my spam folder for like a notification if I'd gotten the role. Like it was all I could think about. So I was definitely excited, and I was actually with my entire family when I got the phone call. So like we were all just like jumping around my house, like screaming, freaking out. It was great. I'm glad I got to like share that with them. So that's it. I'm sorry if I did not answer your question. Whenever I do these Instagram questions or polls, I expect that I'm gonna get like 3 questions out of it, but I got a lot more than that. A lot more than I was anticipating. So if you did submit a question, thank you. I'm sorry if I did not get to it, but I tried to ask ones that had some overlap or that I just thought you guys would be more curious to hear about. So I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and I will also be doing a Star Wars only Q&A, so be sure to stay tuned for that. Alright, I'll see you till then. May the Force be with you.